I never believed people when they talked about near-death experiences, bright lights, tunnels, family members waving from the other side. I always assumed it was just the brain shutting down a desperate spark trying to comfort itself. But what happened to me wasn't comforting. It wasn't peaceful. It was far from it. And it didn't end when I came back. If anything, coming back was the worst part. It happened 3 months ago, a stupid accident. I was driving home after a night shift, and my wife texted me when I was coming back. I was stupid enough to text and drive, only for me to look up and see a deer was only a few meters ahead of me. Instinctively, I swerved away from the deer but ended up swerving into the guardrail out into the woods. The world spun, headlights smeared into white streaks, and then the guardrail rushed up like a metal jaw. I remember the sound of snapping bones more than anything else. Then silence. Thick, underwater silence. My vision collapsed inward like a dying star. Everything went black. Then I opened my eyes. I was standing in the middle of the road, or at least a version of it. The world looked washed out, like a photo printed on cheap paper, colorless, muted, still. That's when I saw my body, crumpled behind the wheel, unmoving. My first instinct was to scream, but no sound came out. I wasn't breathing. I didn't need to. I wasn't cold or warm. My heartbeat was gone, and then from the dark edges of the world, I felt attention, like something was watching me, like I had stepped into a room full of people waiting for me to notice them. Shapes began to appear in the rain, not human shapes, tall, thin silhouettes bent at angles that made no anatomical sense. They stood still at first, then the nearest one tilted its head, or what I think was its head, and began to approach. I ran. I don't know how long I sprinted across that ghost world highway before something grabbed me. Not physically, but like a hook in my chest, yanking me backward. A voice whispered directly into my mind, calm and firm, "Not yet." The world ruptured. Awareness flooded back like water rushing into a submerged room. I gasped. Pain seared through my ribs. Real rain hit my face. A paramedic shouted, "He's back. We've got him." They said my heart stopped for 3 minutes, but when I woke up in the hospital, I realized 3 minutes on the other side felt much longer, and something from there had followed me back. The doctor said I'd experience hallucinations, flashbacks, maybe some dissociation, but they didn't see what I saw. On my second night in the hospital, I woke up to find a man sitting in the chair beside my bed. He was gray, not his clothes, his skin. His eyes were like drowned glass. He stared at me with a kind of longing, like he recognized me. I pressed the call button. A nurse came in and passed right through him. Didn't even flinch. The man leaned close, cold breath brushing my cheek, and whispered, "You can hear us now." My blood turned to ice. More started showing up, standing in doorways, peering around curtains, crowding the corners of the room. Some stared like I was a miracle. Others stared like I was a meal. I learned slowly, painfully, what my near-death experience actually meant. Apparently, when you die, even for a moment, you don't just glimpse the other side. You leave a mark, a kind of open door carved into your soul. Most people slam it shut the instant they revive. I didn't. The things I saw in that gray world, the tall, twisted silhouettes in the rain, they were watching for openings. Now they follow me, not constantly, but enough. When I walk past reflective surfaces, sometimes there's an extra figure behind me. When I sleep, I feel fingers tapping my shoulder even though the room is empty. When I shower, the steam on the glass spells things I never want to read twice. And the worst part, some of the spirits still have vocal cords. Last week, someone whispered my name from inside my closet. Most people think seeing ghosts would mean glimpsing loved ones, unfinished business, comforting messages. That's not what's here. The dead do not feel what we feel. They don't think in the linear ways we do, and many of them don't even remember who they were. They just know that I can see them, and that means they want something. Attention, company, warmth, a doorway. I'm starting to understand the tall silhouettes in the rain. They weren't trying to hurt me, they were dragging me back. Because the moment you cross that threshold, the moment you taste the world where they live, you belong to them, even if you escape, even if your heart restarts, even if the doctors call it a miracle, they never forget and they never stop waiting. It's happening again tonight, right now. As I'm writing this, I hear footsteps pacing in my hallway. Slow, heavy, hungry. There shouldn't be footsteps. I live alone. The door to my room is half open and I can see a shadow stretching across the floor that doesn't match any human shape I've ever seen. It's tall, thin, bent at impossible angles, just like the ones in the rain. I think the door I left open in myself is widening. Maybe because I've been writing about it. Maybe because they can sense that I still remember the silence on the other side. The footsteps stop. Something is standing just outside my doorway now. I can feel it. Waiting. It whispers the same words I heard before I woke up in the ambulance. Not yet. That would almost be comforting. Except this time, the voice sounds disappointed. And this time, the voice isn't dragging me back. It's telling me it's about to come through.